So, how important is magnesium? I think it's really important. I think a lot of people are probably deficient in magnesium, and it probably causes a lot of negative consequences broadly too. I mean, not just you can't just pinpoint one thing. There's probably a lot of things that being deficient in magnesium will or can be attributed to. So, I want to kind of run through a few things really quick. Particularly, these are for the athletes out there. Anybody who exercises or plays sports, anything like that. You'd be very curious to see this kind of stuff, very interested in it, because it definitely applies to you. You can get where I'm at right now is on pubmed.gov. This is the U.S. National Library of Medicine by the National Institutes of Health. So they post studies here, and you can go look through them and you can basically Google search. A lot of articles have been written that cite these things, and that's how I found them. So you can look through them if you want. It's not that fun, unless you like stuff like that, in which case it's probably a ton of fun. So I kind of wanted to just throw a few things out there, and maybe that'll get people thinking a little bit more about magnesium. So this is just a study that was, it's an update on the relationship between magnesium and exercise. And I just kind of want to go over the abstract. You can look into it more if you'd like. Magnesium is involved in numerous processes that affect muscle function, including oxygen uptake, energy production, and electrolyte balance. So it's important for all those things. The relationship between magnesium status and exercise has received significant research attention. So there's been a lot of research on it. It's shown that exercise induces a redistribution of magnesium, meaning so you have magnesium in your body, and when you exercise it redistributes accordingly. There's also evidence that marginal magnesium deficiency impairs exercise performance. And it also amplifies the negative consequences of strenuous exercise, or oxidative stress is one of them. So that's important, especially if you're an athlete. You definitely don't want high levels of oxidative stress. You sweat out a lot. It will increase your exercising strenuously, increases your requirements by 10 to 20%. And I found this interesting based on surveys in recent experiments. Magnesium intake of less than 260 milligrams a day for male, 220 for female athletes may result in magnesium deficient status. So if you're not getting at least this much for a male and this much for a female, you're probably deficient. And we'll go into how you may be deficient, or what you're eating and what you're not eating. Let's see. If you cut weight, it's apparently a lot worse for you too, or it's harder for you if you're low in magnesium because you sweat out a lot of it. Let's see. They talk about the immunosuppression, oxidative damage, and arrhythmias, which is, I think, irregular heartbeats. So they basically outline in this right here about, there's a relationship between being an athlete and needing magnesium. Keep in mind that 260, 220 number. So we'll go to another one here, again from PubMed. Just basic stuff that are basic. The abstract, basically just go over, the abstract of it. Physical exercise may deplete magnesium, which together with marginal dietary magnesium, meaning not much, intake may impair energy metabolism, muscle function, oxygen uptake, and electrolyte balance. So they're connecting magnesium to all these things, which are important, particularly if you're an athlete, but even if you're not an athlete. The ability to perform physical work may be compromised. So, I mean, they're saying it right here. If you're low on magnesium, you might be having a hard time. What else do they have here? It has a strong relation with the immune system, and has been shown to be related to impaired cellular and hormonal or humoral immune function. Let's see. So, yeah, basically another study suggesting that their magnesium plays a very important role in things. So when you talk about this 260, 220 thing here, I wanted to kind of put that into perspective. So I just looked up top 10 foods highest in magnesium. Dark leafy greens. When they're doing on this one's raw spinach. So 100 grams you get 80 milligrams. So for comparison, 1 cup raw you get 26 or 24 milligrams. It's not that much. 1 cup cooked, I don't know. So I guess Swiss chard and kale as the runners up here. So you steam it, I guess you get more out of it. Nuts and seeds, they ranking pretty high here. Half a cup, 606 milligrams. But squash and pumpkin seeds, I don't know anybody that eats squash and pumpkin seeds. And I would wonder if pasteurizing and cooking these things doesn't damage the magnesium. But I mean, down here, always go-tos: Brazil nuts, almonds, cashews, pecans, walnuts. These are all nuts you can find raw. I recommend raw nuts only because it leaves all the enzymes intact. Particularly raw almonds. They contain something called laetrile. It's vitamin B17. You can look that up. Very interesting stuff surrounding vitamin B17. So nuts, yeah, be good. Fish, beans and lentils, soybeans. Watch out for soybeans. 93% of soy in this country has been genetically modified. So sure, you'll get more magnesium, but you'll be eating a bunch of GMOs, but you don't want to do that. Whole grains, brown rice. I'm not really a whole grain fan, to tell you the truth. I do quinoa. We do white rice. Wild rice is good, but 44 milligrams, not much. Avocados are great, but not much magnesium. Bananas, dried fruit, dark chocolate. Oh, that's solid. 327. So 1 square. We eat dark chocolate every day. So something to think about as far as what you eat and how much you're actually getting. And if you're not getting at least 260 a day and you're an athlete, then you're probably deficient. And that's the minimum. But is what they're saying. The minimum is 260. I would say you should probably be getting a lot more than that. So if you're going to supplement, I do recommend supplementing it. I think it's very beneficial. I've noticed a benefit. We have this stuff. It's a magnesium cream. You rub on. It's transdermal, so your skin absorbs it, and you're instead of taking a supplement, which probably gets destroyed in your in your stomach through digestion. Wonder how much of it you actually absorb. The transdermal method is much better, and I think you get a lot more out of it. Or you can take baths in it. You can buy the magnesium flakes online. So magnesium, important, especially if you're an athlete, very important. I would say, definitely be sure you're getting enough of that. And try and just, eating it is the best. Eating it is #1. And then supplementing is definitely #2. Transdermal, #2. One thing I also want to clarify too, when I say athlete, I don't mean you have to be like a basketball player. I mean, you could be a surfer, you do CrossFit, you could just go to the gym a lot. It's really any strenuous exercise will put you into that athlete category, especially if you work out hard in the gym or something like that. So, this is anybody who is physically active. You don't need to play a competitive sport for this to hold true to you. So, just wanted to throw that out there. And, yeah, so magnesium is a plus. Be sure you're getting your magnesium. All right, have a good one.